and without Tassie's big man protection, I expect him to live in the paint. So before tip-off, jump into that Dabble app, have a look around, and if you're going to have a dabble tonight, please do so responsibly.
You win some, you lose more. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.
With 3 rounds to go of the regular season, there are 5 teams that have clinched their playoff berth and 1 spot still very much up for grabs. Today, the JackJumpers meet the Breakers as 2 teams fighting off for that 6th and final position. Let's not forget, the last time these 2 teams met, we were treated to a Boxing Day overtime classic. It's the JackJumpers and the Breakers, and it starts now.
Lopez to inbound, 1.7 seconds for the Breakers. Brockington, can he be the match winner? No! And we've got free basketball on Boxing Day in Hobart.
Now, Petri Koppinen, but he said, guys, we've got 5 minutes. I want you to leave everything out there.
Oh, Meninga got met by Magnay and still able to get it to go. And Brockington wants to slow it down. They go to Meninga again, spins to his left, scores! Hamilton looking for his. 3 more for Bryce Hamilton. Under 2 minutes to play. Meninga once more. He has been immense in the overtime period. Back to PJC. He splits the defense. He gets inside. And their Quicksilver point guard does it again. Bannon inbounds. Hamilton will get a good look at Johnson. Puts it up. It's no good. It'll stay with Tassie. Marshall for 3. No good. Magnay put it in.
Doesn't matter because New Zealand, what a win.
What a wild finish.
As this season winds down, the postseason race is very much heating up, and 2 of the key protagonists go head-to-head this afternoon. The 6th place Tasmania, the 7th place New Zealand. 1 win separates them on the Mitsubishi Motors ladder. Joel Peterson, Andrew Gaze and Derek Rucker with you, Ruckers. We look at our race to finals. This is a big one.
It is a massive game, and when you look at this race to the finals, Tasmania have apparently the easier draw. New Zealand a little bit more difficult, but the winner of this match will hold 6th spot, and that is so important as these games build in pressure.
Yeah, it's a genuine double points game, isn't it? Because it's not just the points you get, it's you put another loss in your closest rival, so that should bring about a level of playoff intensity you would expect.
They both played on Friday night. Tassie went down to Cairns by 3. New Zealand got it done by 2 over Melbourne, and Karim Lopez, Drewy, was absolutely huge.
And not just in this one. He has improved in pretty much every category this season, and this has been his best performance in the NBL. Look at the hops. He's got that almost Iceman Gerving type approach to the game. He's just got that laconic type style, but boy, when he gets it going for an 18-year-old, someone needs to check his passport, because I'm not sure, it's hard to believe that this kid is only 18. Got the complete skill set, and Derek, the thing that the NBA people love about him the most is the versatility. He can guard 1 through 4, and if he can just get a little bit more consistent with the 3 ball, then he might be in the single digits when it comes to draft day.
Well stated, and I've just been on the phone with Jonathan Gavoni, the founder of DraftExpress.com, and he said to me he believes right now Lopez is clearly a top 10 pick because of the fact that as an 18-year-old, he is competing at a high level in an extremely serious league, JP.
Yeah, that's a big endorsement from one of the best in the business. On the Tassie side of things, Ruck, Tiger Campbell, he is going to be a real key for the Jackies.
He's got to come out aggressively. When they made their run the other night in the 3rd and 4th quarter against Cairns, it was off the back of his play on the offensive end. He did cramp up late, however, due to the physical exertion, but he had 15 points, he had 6 assists. He is so important to how they function on the offensive end. He's a talented player, but at times he just sits back and waits for the game to come to him. He needs to be assertive, score the basketball, go out and make plays for your teammates. But Andrew, he's got a huge assignment. I've just been focused on the offense. defensively, he needs to be super effective because you know who he's facing in this game? That guy.
Yeah, and that guy is a great guy. He's just not quite on that MVP conversation this season, but he's not far off it. And look at the numbers, 17 points, 7 assists, and he's sneaky rebounder as well. And he's so explosive getting into the paint, and that's where Tiger Campbell, if he can keep him out of the paint, which is easier said than done,
good luck,
then he's going to be go a long way to helping his team.
We know no Menenga, no Baker, so Rob Lowe, Ruben Tarangi step into that New Zealand starting lineup again. Brockington, Lopez and PJC out there for the visitors. And for Tassie, Campbell, Marshall, Johnson, Deng and Bannon. Johnson fouled out of their last game on Friday. Tiger Campbell cramped up in the last quarter, and Majuk Deng had a scary moment toward the end coming off concussion. And he is back out there after a Tassie best 28 points. PJC almost frittered away the opening tip. It is a classic double points game in this run to the postseason. Tassie and the Breakers. Last time they met here, we went to overtime. 1 point separate these two teams. New Zealand have won all 3 between them so far this season. That was halfway down from Jackson Cartwright to start, and it pops out the other side.
This guy here, Marshall, he has been exceptional this season, getting a lot of minutes and taking responsibility. So is this guy. He's been a beast on the boards in the last 4 or 5 games. And they're going to need a big game out of Josh Bannon if the JackJumpers are going to get the win.
That's a tough defensive matchup for Rob Lowe guarding Bannon. Let's see if the JackJumpers try and exploit it on a regular basis.
Henry Coppinen was full of praise for Rob Lowe's performance last time out. Said he put on a screening clinic as Karim Lopez inside his fouls.
Well, right there, you saw what Karim Lopez needs to improve on. Now, he could have just elevated straight into the 3-ball, but wanted to put it to the deck. Now, you might get away with that here a lot of the times, but you're not going to get away with that in the NBA.
Jackson Cartwright to Lowe. Lopez, Brockington, that trademark rise up, can't hit. And Majuk Deng will take it back the other way for the JackJumpers. Of course, no Bryce Hamilton. We know no Will Magnay for Tassie. Both of these teams short-handed down the stretch. Foul on the play gives us a chance to welcome in the final member of our broadcast team in Kelsey Brown. Good afternoon, Kels.
Hey guys, great to be here. I want to touch on that New Zealand discussion that you were having beforehand. Lots to talk about with Karim Lopez. No doubt we'll talk about him throughout the game as Johnson drains that too. But Henry Coppinen, I spoke to him before the game and he said this one isn't so much about the X's and O's. He said, I don't really mind what we do. It's more about the intensity and what we're bringing physically and mentally. Ruben Tarangi lines up, but it's more about what they're doing intensity-wise and not so much about the X's and O's for the head coach.
Majuk Deng flushing it in as he drives the lane.
Well, somehow New Zealand need to crack this scoreboard. You don't want to get down to Tasmania. The pressure mounts in that venue. We know they're a defensively sound unit. A 6-point lead can feel like a double-digit lead. As we look at the Amy replay, Tiger Campbell on the push. And, man, Juk goes by some poor defense by Tarangi.
It may not be about the X's and O's, but you need a little bit better defense than what Tarangi just dished up there. Simple transition bucket.
And Drew, especially against Majuk Deng, this is a guy who loves the big moment. He had a great game up in Cairns the other night, coming back from that concussion, and looks like he's in that prime form this afternoon.
It was a really scary one last Thursday as well for Majuk Deng, so great to see him back out there. He's Bannon just burrowing his way inside, denied by the combination of Lowe and Lopez. PJC back the other way, stepping through, can't finish it off. And Nick Marshall, who's been a real revelation for Tassie this season, as you two spoke about. Out to Johnson, 3-ball, offline, Bannon pulls it down and tosses it away.
I love Bannon's effort. He's a real workhorse.
As Brockington is able to muscle his way in to open the scoring for the Breakers.
Curious season for Brockington, Drew. MVP of the Blitz, gets off to a poor start, but if you look at his numbers over the balance of the season, they've been very good.
Yeah, they have, almost 50% from the field. And it's another one that when you think of a game where scoring's going to be difficult, you expect, because it always is against the JackJumpers, you're going to find a way to convert those easy baskets and do something about this defensive transition.
Tassie, of course, the slowest pace in the league, Ruck, but they're pretty keen to get out and run so far.
Well, they're opportunistic with their fast break opportunities. And here, Marshall does a really good move. He's a good player in transition, got a number of different finishes, exceptional footwork, and good size. But right now on the offensive end, New Zealand just need to loosen up, play a little bit more effort base on the offensive end. He'll get it going.
Brockington from that mid-range spot. They started 18 of 18 from two-point range back on Friday, the Breakers. Petteri Koponen said in 20 or 30 years he's never seen anything like what they did in that first half. Hopefully they can channel that here as Brockington's not through with the call, sprints up the other way.
And immediately he gives the twirly bird to say, and he got, I want you to check. I want you to
just going to see whether he can exercise the right to that.
And some of that may have to do with the fact that he's the only guy that can score in the game so far, Drew. The coach wants to keep his spirits up. It's like, we'll ride with you on this one, but Koponen didn't even go to his replay coach. He saw it himself and said, we're going to have a look at this one.
What he did, he had faith in his player, and it did look very clean. That is as clean as you could possibly get. Like, there's no, I couldn't see any contact with the arm, particularly from that angle. Looked like there was daylight. Like there, it looks like he may have come across the elbow a little, but the other angle, this is the one. Look, you see daylight. Oh, maybe. Oh, this actually, I'm not as confident. But I think it should be. It should be cool clean.
Is there a little bit of mayonnaise put on that by Josh Banner as well? Maybe not the whole leg mayonnaise, maybe more of a light condiment, but he might have just added a little bit to it just to make sure the referee knew, as is his one.
Drew, that's clean to me.
Yeah, it's the what's happened with the forearm and the elbow is what they're probably going to take a look at, because the ball is absolutely clean.
Well, the length of this review is concerning.
So does that instill confidence?
No,
or does that
no,
plant the seed of
JP,
doubt?
no, it does not.
I think it'd be successful myself, because I think that there's a bit... Oh, there, look at that.
Well done, Andrew.
It's almost like you had a voice in your ear suggesting that might have been the case.
No, but I think it should be successful.
That's highly prescient from you, Drewy.
Thank you.
3.5 minutes in, and he's already delivering his best stuff on this Sunday afternoon. Andrew Gaze, alongside Derek Rucker. Kelsey Brown is courtside with us this afternoon.
And I hear where Coach Kopp is coming from, because in a game in which it appears to be such that it's going to be really hard to score, his team was going away for some type of fast break opportunity, and now they give the ball back to the JackJumpers.
Wow. And Josh Bannon scores.
That's a glitch in the rules. That is a glitch in the rules, if that's the case.
That's insult to injury. Salt in the wounds type stuff from Josh Bannon. Nearly 4-point lead to Tassie. Under 4 minutes played in this one. Jackson Cartwright going baseline, whipping it outside. Brockington, Jackson Cartwright, corner catch, can't connect. And Tarangi pulls it down and puts it back in. Ruben Tarangi, the former Jack Jumper, is having an early impact in this one.
Terrific effort by Tarangi. That ball is shot from the deep corner. He's on the other wing, and any smart basketballer knows that ball is probably going to come off on the other side from where it's shot, and good athleticism and strength in his hands, Drewy, to secure that rebound and finish.
Yeah, they're one of the better offensive rebounding teams in the competition. Virtually equal second at 13 and a bit per game.
Couldn't hit the free throw. Ding passes it up to Johnson, who speeds inside. Marshall. That's a round and out. Rebound to Tarangi. Kelsey Brown, what has Petteri Koponen had to say in these early minutes?
Well, he was firm with his words. It's a quick turnaround from their matchup against Melbourne United, but he said, if you are tired, ask for a sub. I don't want to see anyone walking.
Well, I think that's based on what he saw in the defensive transition. A couple of easy baskets and just the lack of desperation to get back, build a wall behind the ball. And Lowe checks out of the game, and Early signs they were making, the JackJumpers making a concerted effort to go at low. We saw Bannon a couple of times just get through their sets to get him the ball to try and attack low. They take him out of the game. What a pass by Campbell.
Campbell's got the right mindset, Drew. That's a couple of possessions in a row now where he's generated good shot opportunities for his teammates.
Both of these teams doing all their damage from two-point range so far. Neither of them has hit either a three or a free throw. In these early 5 minutes of a vital game in the postseason, hard dime from Brockington to find Darling.
Now Darling has to provide big minutes here because the Breakers, they're thin up front. It's Campbell. Goes from deep. Campbell, by the way, already has 4 assists.
Max Darling had 4 fouls in just under 10 minutes on Friday, so he'll have to be a little bit more disciplined. Call the masked man. Tarangi goes to his left hand. Marshall pulls it off the glass. Deng, Johnson, Marshall, Campbell, Bannon the lineup in these early stages for Tassie. Majuk Deng to his left hand across the lane. He's fouled. He will head to the free throw line. 28 points last time out. Played 42 minutes on Friday against Cairns. He did all that he could.
He's a professional basketball player of the highest order, but in particular, he is a professional bucket getter.
Well, and they went to him in the last play of the game to tie it up, and he had it was a really nice set.
Tangerine timeout here, 4:16 remaining. We're going to get another challenge from Petteri Koppinen on this one, which means luckily we get another prediction out of you as well, Andrew Gaze.
I think he loses this one. It's the push. The hand might be clean. I think it's right. See there, he's coming forward. He's just pushing Majuk Deng. So I can't see in any world where he wins this challenge, Derek.
And the body contact as he went to pick it up. This would be unsuccessful.
And our man's 2 for 2.
I'm getting on the same page now as the review. I've had a, let's be honest, a rough start to the season when it comes to the reviews.
One in particular, but I admire the way you've bounced back and remained mentally strong and not afraid to go out there on a limb.
No, and on top of that, that one that you're referring to, I'm doubling down and saying they were wrong. Yeah, that might be the narcissist in me. But
Joel, yeah, maybe time that we move on from that one.
Tassie by 2 in the early stages here. Some good news for NBL fans. NBL's teamed up with Disney Plus. You can win a 1 of 10 12-month Disney Plus standard subscriptions. Download the free NBL app via the QR code or nbl.com.au/app. Follow the prompts to enter. It's that easy. Of course, all of the NBL action on ESPN via Disney Plus. You can get the WNBL there as well as both of those competitions head to the postseason. So much hoops still to be played out this season. 3 rounds to play after this one. We're in round 19 of the Hungry Jacks NBL. Tassie playing their 30th game today. Have 3 more to come. The Breakers have 4 more to come after this. As Majuk Deng hits the first at the line.
Well, JP, the possession game, the ability to convert at the free throw line. If this game is won with scores in the 80s, both of those become very key variables.
Yeah, they're a really awkward team to play against, the JackJumpers, because they control the tempo with their offense. They shoot more shots in the last 6 seconds than any other team in the comp. And that's why their pace is considered to be.
And with the loss of Menenga and Baker, New Zealand have taken on an identity that's a bit awkward to play against also.
They have, and absolutely they need that talent, but shorten the rotation and guys are out there getting a bit more time, knowing their role, and they've looked okay. This guy Johnson, he's had an up and down season, but he can shoot the ball. That's deep.
Well, he's top 3 in the league in terms of prettiest strokes, Drew.
Yeah.
Highly athletic as well, David Johnson. He hits the first 3 ball in the game. 1 of 7, these 2 teams in the early going. Lopez gets that to go through traffic.
Put that in the chapter of we asked how many and not how, because that wasn't aesthetically beautiful. As Deng pulls up short on a 3 ball.
Bannon's energy on the glass generates the second opportunity for Tassie.
He's just going to keep working. And he goes about it without a lot of flash. He stays on the offensive glass, averaging almost a double-double this season.
Yeah, good energy, like you say. And last night, I saw one of the most spectacular first halves exhibition of offensive rebounding by the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix. Derek, I know you were out socialising, doing your thing.
Wow, they had out me in front of them. 21 offensive rebounds in the first half.
It was...
That's incredible.
It's
John Brown finished with 9 at that end.
And it's not the first time. Remember, we called a game earlier on when they played Illawarra, and they ended up with 28, I think, in the game. So it's been a real feature of their play.
Ty Webster misses the three long two. Max Darling pulls it down and puts it back in.
And while we're on the topic, Max Darling pulls down an impressive offensive rebound. And good offensive rebounding, Andrew, can cover so many deficiencies in a team.
Sure it can.
Tassie did a good job of that on Friday night. They had 53 rebounds. They were +9 on the offensive glass. Here's Carlin Davison. We know he can get up.
See, that's hard. When you're switching, so if you switch and you're guarding the ball and you go over the top of the screen, if there is no pressure and no weak side help, that's what's going to happen.
Brody Nunn about to check in for Tassie. Tiger Campbell from the right wing. Tassie back out by 6. Just over 2:15 to play in this opening term. It is 6th and 7th. 1 win separates them in the win column. It is so close, this race to the play-in in this NBL 26 season. Anthony Drimick bringing his trademark energy and physicality to the table.
Campbell off to a good start. Most importantly, we talked about his impact on the defensive end. Parker Jackson Cartwright is none for 3 to start the game.
Jackson Cartwright was so key last time they met.
I think it's also, if you're just a neutral fan like we are here, and you think, well, which team is better suited to get into that top 6 position? It's
in terms of who might pose the biggest threat in that elimination game?
Correct. And I think with the injuries to the JackJumpers, and I know that Sam Menenga is a big one, but I just think that perhaps the Breakers are maybe a little bit better equipped as talent.
Well, they have the one superstar who can always take over a game and win it in his own right, in Parker Jackson Cartwright.
They still have the capacity to have the best player on the court in a postseason game.
In any game. However, there's the structure and the institutional know-how of the JackJumpers and Scott Ross' brilliance as a coach.
Offensive foul here on the Breakers.
And that's spot on, Derek. It's really something that can't be underestimated.
And this is the beauty of the play-in, because everyone poses a threat to the team that you have to play in that first game. Looked like Bairstow got away with a hack on David Johnson.
It was 3 plays 4. Winner of that game goes straight through to a playoff series as Johnson gets to the hoop. 5v6, and then a loser of the first game, the winner of the second game for that 4th final spot.
If I'm a Breakers fan, I've got concerns about what's going on the defensive end. Just don't seem to have that level of intensity. And maybe it's fatigue.
Webster from outside.
Big hit there.
It's an important one. Cuts the margin back to 5. Under a minute to play in this opening term. New Zealand have won all 3 between these two teams this year. By 1, by 13, by 17. Drimick for a triple. Knocks that one in.
He's provided a spark, a much-needed spark coming back from injury. Energy that Drimick brings, and he's been pretty good offensively too. Had some big games.
Low to Davison, and 1 for Carlin Davison.
Carlin Davison continues to make a mark in the league, slowly establishing himself as a guy who you can rely on. And that was a big 2 points there. It was a chance to go to the line to give him 5 points.
And just hellacious all-round hops.
Yeah.
When he's going to the paint, he is explosive. around the rim.
Right up there with one of the best that we've got. We do have some good contenders for those kind of titles here in the NBL this season. Simon Cheatham, of course. Sam Menenga had a laundry list longer than most before he checked out for the season.
Yeah, I think he's got 3 of the top 5 dunks this season.
Because it wasn't just the degree of difficulty, it was really in the grill of someone.
It was some pretty ferocious stuff. Like Sam's on the mend.
Real nasty Instagram moments for
great defense from Webster, and then he got barrel rolled by Anthony Drimmick.
Big possession there by Webster on the defensive end to get this one.
It's the kind of spark that he brings to the table for the Breakers.
Didn't get a lot of court time the other night, but he's effective when he gets himself engaged in the right way.
Yeah, only played the 8 minutes in that win over Melbourne United.
Made his season debut as the injury replacement for Isaiah Liafa back in round 13, or round 11 when these two teams met.
We've already seen the work you do in the on-ball situation. Sideline on-ball they did before. If you roll, he'll find a way to get you the ball.
Likes the connectedness that they bring. Parker Jackson Cartwright stepping back and ending the first term in style. PJC walks them to the benches and makes it a 3-point game. It is still Tassie ahead. They've got the lead at quarter time for the first time in their last 6. We're in Hobart for Sunday Hoops. It's all thanks to Choice Hotels.
Thanks to another digital presenting partner of the Jump Squad. And big thanks to today's game, which is proudly supported by Huon Salmon Superfish Superfood. This year, Huon celebrates 40 years of farming, premium salmon, creating jobs and opportunities across Tasmania.
Sunday afternoon hoops here in Hobart. You are watching the Hungry Jacks NBL, and quarter time sees the visitors trail by just 3 after a late step back triple by their superstar Parker Jackson Cartwright. I was listening into the Breakers huddle at that break, and it was all about the pace of it. Derek, they were talking about matching the pace with the Tassie JackJumpers. Do you agree with that?
Well, I think that's based on the fact that they can get Parker Jackson Cartwright out in the open court. And if that's possible, Kelsey, it could be a winning variable in their equation, but it's questionable.
David Johnson starts this second term in style.
That's another example I was talking about. If you're playing at a level of desperation, that should be a whole lot more contested. And he's coming off any sort of on-ball in that mid-range.
Wow. Back the other way, Sean Bairstow. He's only had limited opportunities throughout the course of the season, but Henry Coppin rolling him out to start this second term. Jackson, Cartwright, Darling, Davison and Webster. See there, the Jack Jumpers have controlled the scoreboard so far in this one. Johnson rises up again. Rebound, Bannon, the hands foul from PJC.
Both teams shooting a very good clip from the field, above 52%. Turnovers are under control both ways. It's a really balanced game.
Oh, Johnson, they're really making a target out of him. He on the season, surprisingly, when you look at his numbers, he's only attempting 10 a game. Now, I know he came back from injury. It's been a real interrupted season, but already in this one, he's 4 of 7. And he's going to go to the free throw line here. So they're making a target of him, as they should.
Had a season best 23 Thursday week in Sydney against the Kings.
And he was solid the other night until he fouled out at a key moment. But he was showing signs of being able to stack productive performances. And again, as Andrew mentioned, he looks like to be the focal point this afternoon. 11 points already.
Highly productive for DJ in the early going. Webster drops it inside, and that's a big finish through contact from Max Darling.
Tasmania really struggling with the pick and roll, Andrew.
Yeah, and that was just an excellent pass by Webster. He had to thread the needle. And on that occasion, there was some semblance of some weak side help, but clearly not enough.
Bannon puts it on the floor, getting to that left hand. Good defense from Darling. And Jackson Cartwright, so dangerous in that position. Webster's fouled, making his way to the hoop.
And that's my point with respect to the question Kelsey asked me. If that ball's in Parker Jackson Cartwright's hands, by all means, Andrew, let's get out in the open court and trust his talent, and he's going to lead us in the right direction. PJC's got a problem.
I saw it. I chose to pass.
Okay. Both these teams shooting a really helpful clip.
Especially from two-point land as well, both highly efficient from inside the arc. 7 of 12, the Jack Jumpers in the early going. The Breakers 11 of 18 from inside the three-point line. Ty Webster makes both free throws, making it a one-point game. It's the margin we got last time these two teams met. Tassie 12 and 17. They sit in 6th at the moment. The Breakers 11 and 17. Tassie with the edge in terms of percentage, which could be all important down the stretch. Johnson gets it back and makes the most of it.
A shooter loves those. The ball, fortunately, gets deflected into an open space where Johnson runs onto it wide open, knocks down a 3.
So he's playing a lone hand at the moment at the offensive end for the Jack Jumpers. Here's David Johnson. Up top, here's Jackson Cartwright, trying to make his move. Stepping into the contact, can't hit. Hasn't been able to get a call so far. Chris Reed, Hugh Starkey, Ruben Woolcock, our referees in this one. Drumick thought about it. Deng puts it in.
Outstanding basketball by Majuk Deng. He threw that pass across the court to Drumick and then relocated to the other block, Andrew, to receive that post feed.
10 assists on 12 makes for the Jack Jumpers. He's good going in the early stages here. Ty Webster, long 2, that is tough.
Oh, yeah. Well, we've seen what he can do with distributing the ball. If all of a sudden he starts knocking down those types of shots, he becomes an extremely difficult cover.
7 points on 2 of 3 shooting in the early going for Ty. Johnson rifles the pass cross court, and Drumick finishes it off.
That is a high degree of difficulty 3-ball by Anthony Drumick.
Darling can't hit from outside. Davison battling for the rebound. It'll stay with the visitors.
Look at this Amy replay. He elevates, gets his feet in the right position, doesn't have to readjust them, just goes right up into the 3-ball. Great skill. Andrew, let me ask you the question, though. This hasn't been a great defensive game from either team, but which coach would be most disappointed right now?
I think it's the New Zealand Breakers. They're coming off an emotionally charged win, 3-second violation, and you just haven't seen the level of urgency on the defensive end. And we know what's at stake. And you can understand why the JackJumpers playing at home, a raucous fan base getting behind them. And the New Zealand Breakers just haven't matched it on that end of the floor. But you look offensively, they're shooting at 52% from the field, doing a decent job on the boards, but trail it by 7.
Neither team's got any excuses travel-wise in the sense that they both had to travel to come for this game. New Zealand coming up from Auckland and Tassie down from Cairns on Friday night. Campbell gets the hometown roll there. 9-point game. Tassie on top.
Playing a perfect game right now, Tiger Campbell.
Just what they need. Here's Lopez sizing Campbell up. Goes to bang bodies with him. Spins inside. Got fouled on the double.
I'm not sure that's his go. He can use his size and get into the paint. And as I said, you can get away with it where you've got the same level of size in the NBA. But he's only had 2 field goal attempts. He's 1 of 2 from the field, coming off a 32-point game. And they need to find a way to get him a few more looks. In that time there, it was almost like he's taking it upon himself and pushing the issue himself when he really shouldn't have to, coming off a 32-point game.
19 in the 4th quarter of that game on Friday night as well for Lopez. He's highly efficient and effective down the stretch. He got Drimmick up in the air there, takes it all the way inside. Foul on the play. And Lopez.
Sometimes hard to figure with Lopez whether he's gathered or not, because it's so there's the foul there, so there's another dribble, so I don't think it's going to be 2 shots. Depends on when they actually called the foul.
6 minutes remaining here in this second term. And there's going to be a tech foul on the New Zealand bench here. Petteri Koppinen got a warning a couple of moments ago. Tiger Campbell misses the technical free throw. Now the worst free throw shooting team in the competition, Tassie. Just over 70% on the season. At the other end, Karim Lopez will head to the line, down by 9. Gives us a chance to check in courtside with Kels.
Derek, you just asked Gazy a question before about the defensive end and then also said that Tiger Campbell's having a perfect game. Let's talk about his defensive side of things. Scott Roth, pre the game, went straight to him and said, I need you to use your physicality, use your body. Make sure you keep Parker Jackson-Cartwright in front of you. How do you think you've seen his defensive presence on this end of the court? Parker Jackson-Cartwright's got 2 points.
Yeah, and on 1 of 5 shooting, Kelsey. And I think Campbell, yes, it's great. You have to play with physicality, but you must utilize your brain also and play with intelligence and not overdo it. And I think that's been the best part from Campbell thus far. And even in that last matchup against Lopez, I thought he bodied up Lopez and did a good job positionally as well.
Stoddard out there for Tassie. Here is Campbell all the way inside. Just couldn't scoop it home. Fell off the rim. Archie Woodhill out there as well for the JackJumpers at the moment. Lopez, Jackson, Cartwright, Tarangi, Brockington and Lowe. Here is Ruben Tarangi from the corner, can't hit. Tassie up by 7, they led it 39-30. It was their biggest lead of the game, that 9-point break, halfway through this second term. In what is such a vital game for both of these teams' postseason hopes. Juk Deng got a hold of the rock and was fouled.
Good hands there with the help defense from PJC. Wasn't able to secure that steal. And good fortune for the JackJumpers as Brockington gets called for the foul on Deng. Brockington got off to a good start, Drew, but they haven't really gone back to him again. He needs to feature a bit more prominently as we close out this second quarter.
There's no doubt he would have been very high on the scouting report.
Indeed, he would have been. 39-32, Tassie up at the Tangerine. Timeout, 5:13 left. Let's hear from Coach Kopp of the New Zealand Breakers pre-game. He spoke with Kels.
This is your second season now for New Zealand. What's the biggest thing you've learnt about the league since you've been involved?
It's just so fast-paced. You know, I come from Europe. It's much more tactical, much more, you know, half-court sets. You know, teams are running and trying to execute. And in this league, you know, you have to be able to run with the pace and you know, at the same time finding the balance when you execute, when you play with the pace. And I think that's the biggest difference. And like I always say, so somewhere between NBA and Europe. I think the one interesting thing in this league also, like every team play a little bit different. There are some similarities, but everybody got kind of like their own weapons, how they try to play and find the advantages. But overall, I think it's really a really good league. I love the crowd. You know, the events are nice. So it's been, I'm really lucky to be part of this league.
And I reckon that's one of the advantages of this league. If you watch an NBA game, it's almost like it's the franchise model on the floor as well, where everyone's playing the same. Sure, the talent might be different here or there, but you don't see a whole lot of real significant difference between them. But here you've got the variety, and this JackJumpers team is certainly one of them. We saw last night with what Phoenix does as compared to Sydney Kings. Yeah, there's some similarities, but it's great that we get versatility. You know, we're a lot more versatile and see differences.
Styles make fights. We've had some awfully good fights so far this season.
But he's right about the pace, and not only within game, but this season, it goes so quickly, and it's hard to make up ground. It's hard to reverse trends in your playing form. But I think Coach Kopp has learned a lot in his 2 seasons in the league.
Team option on his contract for next season. Petteri Koppinen. He's had no shortage of challenges thrown at him over his first 2 seasons here. Of course, he's had a vast array of basketball experience right from the very top of the NBA throughout Europe, as he mentioned.
Well, I mean, the victory over Melbourne United in their last game will have to go as one of his great achievements in his young coaching career, Andrew.
Yeah, certainly his coaching career here in Australia, it kept their season alive. They lose that one, and you look at their remaining schedule, and you had to stretch your imagination a fair bit to see how they could make it. But a win here, in fact, might not end up there, but they'll be back in if they get a win.
They will. They've only been in the 6 at the end of 2 rounds so far this season. Wow. The New Zealand Breakers are in the top 6 at the end of round 1 and round 11 as Bannon gets to his left hands. Whereas Tassie have been in the top 6 in 17 of the 18 rounds that we've played so far at their conclusion. They lose today and they will slide out for just the 2nd round of this year. The Hawks have not occupied a top 6 spot at any point throughout the course of the season at the end of a round as Brockington hits the line drive triple to make it a 4-point game.
Both teams on the offensive end, probably 2 of the more structured teams in the NBL. Andrew, I know that you mentioned earlier, Tassie shoot the ball late more than anyone else in the league.
There's another example of it. Down to 4 seconds left on the shot clock.
Wild old miss from Bannon. Lopez got a hold of that somehow. Brockington tried to fumble it away as well. They get it to Jackson Cartwright. He doesn't muck around with it. He knocks in the triple, and it's a 1-point game.
Fumbles all over the place lead to a wide open PJC 3.
Majuk Deng got Bannon on the move. Tassie want the flop. New Zealand wanted the offensive foul. David Johnson wanted the ball to knock down a 3. Trading blows here at MyState Bank Arena. And Johnson's got 17 in the half. Lopez at the other end sees it roll off.
Good move to get himself in position, just was unable to finish it.
Finally, this game's just had that spark lit underneath it. Here's Nick Stoddart from the corner. The lefty can't knock that one down. Made a couple of big plays late on Friday night. Been given his opportunity in overtime. Campbell hits the deck. Tarangi can't hit the 3. Johnson is able to reel in the rebounds.
Ref letting them play on those.
Campbell stepping back. That's no good.
On those questionable block charges, I prefer that they do that.
Eric Rucker alongside Andrew Gaze analysing things for you this afternoon on Sunday Hoops here in the Hungry Jacks NBL. Lopez with a wide miss. 1 of 4 Karim Lopez to start after that outstanding 32-point night on Friday. He's going to take a seat, and there's a few of these players both coming off the back end of a doubleheader and a bit of travel that look pretty wary at the end of this first half. 2:20 remaining at the Tangerine timeout. It is 44-40. Tassie 12-17, New Zealand 11-17. They and the Hawks still in the mix for that 6th spot. And Tassie trying to take really put one hand on it if they can win here this afternoon. There is your live ladder. So this is what the result would mean at the moment. You see Tassie there, so they go to 13 wins with 3 to play after this. Their last 3, Brisbane at home, Southeast Melbourne away, Illawarra at home. New Zealand's last 4, Southeast Melbourne and the Hawks at home, at Adelaide, and then they have Cairns at home in their final game of the season. So this one very, very important.
Well, it's tense times, and I think the nerves are being somewhat demonstrated in this game because we haven't seen either team really able to let themselves go and play with the level of intensity that's required. Now, I imagine that's going to build up, but it can't happen quick enough for either one of these coaches.
Yeah, I'm not... Well, you got the Globetrotters Tour coming up, 100-year celebrations, so that's going to be an absolute beauty. And make sure you get out and check it out, because that is a fun proposition. But I don't think
Australia and New Zealand as well, Drew.
Very nice. I don't think this is as much about nerves that we're seeing, because if it was nerves, you're not shooting at 49, 48 or 51%. I think it's just more perhaps the fatigue a little bit, and you see that in the defensive transition. You see it a little bit in the half court and on the ball pressure. And the team that just can will themselves to summon up that extra bit of energy is probably going to be more important than the strategy on this one.
Scott Ross said after their result on Friday that they're up for the fight. This Tassie team, Majuk Den can't hit from outside. Brockington the rebound. What was the Tassie coach's message at that timeout? Kelsey Brown as Bairstow has it poked away.
Well, it was exactly that. It was all about Majuk Deng and getting him more involved on the offensive end, so he'll be happy with that shot. He also said good first half. We've got 2 minutes to play. Here are the 3 focuses. No second shots, contest, and keep the ball in front. So all on the defensive end.
Kelsey, you seeing a bit of fatigue among these playing groups up close?
Absolutely. I think everyone who comes off the floor is gassed.
Defensive play there from the Jackies. Able to get the stop and create the opportunity for Johnson, who is fouled. Shooting a 3. Mask Max doesn't like the call. And David Johnson has 17 to his name. He's the lone double-figure scorer in the contest thus far. And he will head to the stripe.
Well, Darling gets caught in a bad matchup in transition and finds himself having to get out, and a slight brush on Johnson's right side. Darling protested, but the case was made, and Johnson goes to the line to shoot 3. He's had a great first half, and you know that calf injury in the first 3 rounds or so of the season really deprived not only the JackJumpers but the NBL fans of an exceptional basketball player. And now we're starting to see what his potential truly is, because we saw it early with Bryce Hamilton, his brilliance, but they had a real duo there on the wings that, again, we never got to see the full bloom, Andrew.
Now, of course, Johnson stepping up with no Bryce Hamilton to become a real focal point of that offense. First of a doubleheader here on Sunday Hoops. Taipans and Kings coming away from the Cairns Convention Centre later this afternoon. Crucial game for the Kings as Brockington rises up. He elevates and knocks down a big 3. Double digits for Isaiah Brockington now on 4 of 6 shooting. He's got 6 rebounds and 2 assists to go with it. Campbell thought about pulling from deep. 4 seconds. Johnson has to go. And he hits one from way outside. David Johnson's got 22. He is having a white-hot first half.
This is well and truly in his repertoire, but it's also the JackJumpers. That's 16 3-point field goal attempts. They in that mid-20s per night, but perhaps with some missing personnel and a white-hot Johnson, they're getting it done from the 3-point line. 7 of 16. 43%. Anytime you're above the mid-30s in three-point field goal percentage is pretty good. And you consider the two top teams, Phoenix and Adelaide, on the season at 36%. This is some really good shooting, mainly because of Johnson at 4 of 6.
He's carrying the can for Tassie at the moment. Here's David Johnson. Webster gets his own offensive rebound off the free throw. A 3-ball up, that wouldn't fall. Contact between Deng and Davison. And looks like that might go back with Tassie. Davison's a little bit sore and sorry in the aftermath.
Looks like he'll get whistled for the foul as he went hard to try and get that offensive rebound. And unfortunately for the Breakers, that foul was whistled on him, and the JackJumpers, that's a shaky call.
And then he copped a little whack in the mush for his trouble.
I think JackJumpers will shoot 2 here, Drew. And you didn't think it was a...
No, I think I can see what the official was looking at. He just pulled the arm initially, and that response from Majuk. Yeah, there you heard it in the background. Forearm, pulled it. I'm on fire.
Oh, he's batting 100 today.
But on the replay, didn't look like a whole lot.
Well, Davison feels like it was a whole lot because he took a smack across the grill, and I do not miss that about playing.
We're getting back to that 3-ball foul that we called early on, that was called a couple of plays ago. If they made those calls back in your day, Gary, you'd have at least an extra 1,000 free throws.
Yeah, they were less forgiving on shooters back in the day.
Last 30 seconds of this first half. Another foul there on Carlin Davison. That'll be his 3rd personal.
What was he thinking then? Well, I'm not sure. It's just a... originally I thought, well, they're not in the bonus, and there was a sacrificial foul, which is a poor one, because like you said, it was going to be his 3rd, even if it wasn't going to be in the bonus. It's almost like maybe because he was hurt, he was thinking he needed to come out of the game or something, but that was... There's nothing subtle about that foul.
Campbell makes the first.
Hasn't been a great final 2 minutes for New Zealand. They've sent the JackJumpers to the line constantly. And just easy points here, JP.
Just on the accounting, by the way, if you had an extra 1,000 free throws in your career, you'd still be about 1,300 short of our man on the left.
Well, the guy to my left was pretty damn good, Joel.
I played 200 or something more games.
Just because he was so in tune with the officiating. Final seconds here for Tassie. Equal game high lead of 9 as we get toward half-time. Can New Zealand eat into it here? Jackson Cartwright pulls from way outside. Parker Jackson Cartwright. He is so good in those late clock situations. He knows the moment, sees it, and rises to it.
They double-teamed him to get the ball out of his hands, and then they get it straight back to him. And the most dangerous player in these moments, as you mentioned, Joel, knocks down a 3.
Tassie by 6 at the half. Let's go to Kelsey Brown.
Josh, plenty to like in that first half. 53 points, only 2 turnovers for the team. What have you liked on the offensive end?
I think we're doing a better job of moving the basketball. We're talking about keeping the ball hot, and I think we did a great job of that in the first half. And then obviously DJ's gone bananas.
We know that New Zealand have had your number 3 times this season. We know that they're not going to go away. How do you get some separation in this second half?
Keep packing the paint, do a good job on Parker. That's the head of the snake. So we've got to shrink the floor on him, make his life difficult.
Thanks for your time.
Thanks.
We are watching the wrestle for that 6th playoff spot, and the JackJumpers lead at the half, 53-47. It's Sunday afternoon hoops here in the Hungry Jacks NBL halftime show right after this.
First, and then make their way to door 3C, where they can line up for entry. Make sure to line up early to ensure you don't miss out. The event will run for approximately 30 minutes, subject to the change at coach's discretion. time, all right? We're making this very challenging, but we like it. Justin's off. There you go, Jack. Ball's going everywhere. Justin is nailing them in the middle here. Josh, still cruising through the straight. I like the challenge in this. We could be here all day, and I don't mind it. I'm in the middle. Finally got, that's stiff. That is stiff. Let's go, Justin. Oh no, we've broken the middle of the back straight. What is happening? What is happening? I'll tell you what, Justin's at the main end. He's got one to go, Liam. He could be with you. Practice shots with this. Missed it. Justin has one more to get. He's got it. One more here.
Oh my goodness. Justin, I'm out of breath for you. How was that?
That was great. You know, I'd like to see a few more threes from the boys as well. But, yeah.
Well, there we go. No, and all thanks to our friends at Screw to Touch. You've scored yourself $500 voucher. Now, who's jumping the ship with you?
Half-time at My State Bank Arena. What a first half we've had. Parker Jackson Cartwright ending it in style with a big three. But it is Tassie who lead by 6 in this all-important game in the chase for 6th spot. 53-47 at the half. Joel Peterson, Derek Rucker and Andrew Gaze with you, gentlemen. Our half-time stats there. And we've spoken a lot about how well Tassie is shooting it from behind the arc.
And to steal Kelsey Brown's description of the first half, it is truly a wrestle. Neither team really dominant in the statistical categories, except for the fact that the JackJumpers have shot a little bit more effectively from the three-point line.
And 53 points for them at the half. That would be one of their highest all season. So I think it also speaks to what the New Zealand Breakers are doing on the defensive end. It's not at the level where they need to be at right now. Now, a long way to go, of course, but that's what I think that they'll be focusing on mostly at the halftime break.
Just hasn't had that intensity about it quite yet. You feel like that'll pick up here in this second half. David Johnson certainly brought the intensity. Had a season best 23 a couple of games ago. He's got 22 in the first half here.
Well, he showed signs of being able to be this productive early in the season before he got hurt. It's taken him some time to get back into the mix at the level that we know he can play at, but he's showing it all in this game, putting up big-time numbers. His stroke looks magical right now, Andrew. It feels like he's in a real flow and very confident out there on the floor.
Yeah, and again, really surprised the way they've gone about it, because when you look at this JackJumpers team, that even when they're at their best, when they had all their guys, they were only in the 80s. And without some of their marquee guys available, this guy was going to be a prime focus. And to give up 22 points, and on those replays we just saw, the drive to the basket, okay, we live with them sometimes because just good athleticism, good skill to get there. But the wide open jump shots from the perimeter is something that I find surprising with what's at stake in this game and how they should be approaching guarding him.
They need to lock in defensively, that's for sure, the New Zealand Breakers. Isaiah Brockington, we spoke about it during the game, Ruck, that he's had an up-and-down season from where he was the Blitz coming in as the MVP, but down the stretch, important games, big games like this, he's the kind of man you need to step up.
Well, he sat on the bench for a nice little stretch there, I think 5 or 6 minutes. I thought it was too long, but I would anticipate that Coach Kopp will ride him out in this second half. And Drew, he's had 2 really good stints of basketball. He's got 10 points. He's done a good job in just keeping them attached. New Zealand are still in this basketball game and have enough individual brilliance to be able to take this one if it's close down the stretch.
Yeah, and I like the way he's let the game come to him. We know how explosive he can be. And you saw in those highlights again, the 3-ball would get to the rim. And if they have to get over 100 to win, which right now they do. Now, who knows? I doubt very much the JackJumpers are going to come out with another 53-point half. But if they need to get over 100 to win, he's got to have a huge one in the second half.
Second half shootout will be very fun indeed. Hey, Friday was a big game for the New Zealand Breakers. They took on Melbourne United. They got the win. It was a critical one in their chase for the postseason. It was also a big game because one of their legends was honoured with retired jersey status. Tom Abercrombie, one of the absolute good guys in the sports. What a career he put together both domestically and internationally for the New Zealand. No bigger part in that than the Breakers, and he was honoured with some really cool scenes on Friday.
An all-time great and someone who probably doesn't get the recognition or the appreciation. And look at the scenes there in honor of Tom Abercrombie, a true great of the NBL and New Zealand sport.
And just, I love it that when they honour him with the haka, we saw the Melbourne United players joining in it. We saw it a few years ago when Kirk Penny retired, and it's emotional to see that level of respect. It's a wonderful tradition they have, and again, emotion charged. And Tommy Abercrombie, just a sensation for the Breakers in the NBL, and had a fantastic career. Started very young, still looks young, by the way. I mean,
he could have kept playing. He could have kept playing easily.
And one of those ones that had incredible bounce, and congratulations to him. And well done to the Breakers for taking that step to honour him.
Yep, absolutely. Very well deserved for Tom Abercrombie, one of the good guys in our sport, no doubt about that. Jackies by 6 at the half. Big second half coming up. Don't go anywhere. All the fun and frivolity of the fair here at MyState Bank Arena on a Sunday afternoon. Plenty of stuff going on. I'm not sure I would trust that particular Spirit of Tasmania cruise liner with my vehicle if I was going over to Tassie, Derek, but good fun indeed. Hey, some nice shot making there.
Yeah,
the
nice
midship
form
as well.
from that gentleman. Congratulations. He clearly would have won that contest. And shout out to the JackJumpers. They always have some good things happening for their in-game experience, Andrew.
The match slide is a big favourite of the Jack Jumper fans. Whenever we're there, that seems to get them up and about.
They've got it's a hard place to get a ticket, and that's why there's all kinds of fun in that venue, that is for sure. 6-point lead to the Jackies. Let's check in with Kelsey Brown.
You can see on screen there, guys, Nick Marshall is starting this second half, but it was obvious to me that he's only played 5.5 minutes in the first half. We spoke about him pre-game, how big he's been for this Tassie JackJumpers lineup, and I asked the Tassie JackJumpers camp. They said he's fine, he's good to go, nothing in concern of injury-wise or load management, just the way the rotations are rolling. They did suggest it was foul issues, but David Johnson has 2 fouls as well, and he has 22 points.
Indeed, Kels, thank you. He's going to have to play a big role down the stretch here.
Fouls might have been the original reason why they take him off, but when you've got a group out there that's functioning well, and Anthony Drimmick comes in, is perfect from the field, 2 of 2 with the 6 points, sometimes you just roll with it.
So second half underway in this vital game. Good old-fashioned 2 wins worth this afternoon, and Isaiah Brockington gets us going in style in this second half.
That's a great start for the Breakers. Immediately put the JackJumpers under pressure.
Ooh. Campbell inside. Marshall drops it off. Johnson pulls the trigger from deep again. And David Johnson with 25 is having the best game of his debut NBL season.
Set up by excellent dribble penetration from Campbell. Kick, 3-ball Johnson.
Lopez with the touch pass to the corner. There's all kinds of crafty for Tarangi. Couldn't knock it down.
And your point's valid. The fact that they hunted him out with the way the ball found him and got it to the hot hand.
He is feeling it, he's DJ. Deng in the corner now. That one's around and out. New Zealand have won all 3 between these 2 teams this season as Rob Lowe cashes one from outside.
Come a 3-point shootout. Half-time break.
Going whack, whack, whack on the other side of half-time, these 2 teams. Could have a shootout down the stretch. Let's hope so. Mitchell, dang! He doesn't want to do it with 3. He's going to do it in a big way nonetheless.
Well, he caught a next star's body. Lopez couldn't fully recover, and Deng is not the guy you want to contest late. Good athlete, long arms, loves to dunk on people.
Lopez has it poked away at the other end. Johnson getting up ahead of steam. Had it, lost it, got it back. Now he looks down low for Juk. Faces up on Tarangi. Takes him to the baseline and scores.
Good recognition, size advantage. Tarangi's generally pretty good at guarding people on that box. Bannon with a foul. As you look at the Amy replay, the kick out comes back to Deng, gets the dunk, and down here they just decide to play him one-on-one. And good body contact by Tarangi, but size prevailing.
Well, people look at his frame and think that he's thin, but he's gone a long way with that frame. He knows how to utilize his length to his advantage.
It's a great pickup on the cheap for the JackJumpers a couple of seasons ago after some disappointing
on the cheap
campaigns up in Cairns.
What do you mean on the cheap?
Well, he didn't. I wouldn't imagine he had a hell of a lot of suitors after his final season in Cairns, and Tassie thought this is someone that we can work with. He hadn't had his best shooting form over those couple of seasons, and what an impact he's made here at Tassie. Oh, Bannon has that one fall off the rim. Jackson Cartwright runs into Campbell.
That's a good look, well executed play to get Bannon an easy shot, and unable to convert the easy ones. 2 of 7 now for Josh Bannon. He's got the 6 boards. Also got 4 assists, Josh Bannon.
1 of 7 last time these 2 teams met. 4 points, 9 rebounds. So he couldn't find his best back on Boxing Day. Tassie went down narrowly on that occasion. They're up by 7 here. Now they go to Bannon, working on Lopez. There's a foul out of the next star.
He's got a motor. And he's not going to give up, irrespective of how he's performing. This is who he is as a player. And he could very well, Andrew, wouldn't surprise me if he finishes up with nearly 20 points in this one.
No, that's right. He doesn't seem to get rattled.
No.
Definitely doesn't lose confidence when he misses a few. And he's thrived in this system. The action that we just saw earlier where he missed a layup, screen, sets another screen, and then slips to the basket, moves well without the ball.
And when you talk about that system, Andrew, Scott Roth is a no-nonsense guy. And some players seek that, need that, want that in order to get their games to the next level. And I believe in Bandon's case, there just wasn't enough structure in Brisbane for him to thrive as an individual.
I couldn't agree more.
Tassie up by 9 again. Equal biggest lead of the game. They keep getting it out to this, and New Zealand keep pegging it back.
Yo, he's cooking. Got 16 now. Very efficient, 6 of 9.
4 of 5 from beyond the arc ruck for Isaiah Brockington. Marshall with it in his hands now. Brockington 16, this man's got 25 at the other end. Johnson defers to Marshall, gets it back, puts it on the floor, across the lane, crafty move, doesn't fall. And then Lopez kicks it back to him quite literally. Nick Marshall for 3, that's good.
Lopez made a bad decision. He helped out off Johnson, who was white hot. Now, it wasn't him that eventually scored it, but they were playing catch-up after that. Oh, my goodness.
Triples in this quarter between these two teams. 4 buckets from the Breakers, all of them from outside.
The timeline for adjusting to NBL style of play is tricky, but Isaiah Brockington has clearly figured it out.
Well, when he's in this frame of mind, here's the kick out. Wide open. Marshall gets one to fall where he's been exceptional.
And look at the elevation on that jump shot. Supreme camera angle right there. That style of jump shot is not in vogue in the modern era, but it was something that we saw a lot of in our time playing, Andrew. Now it's more of a one-shot, a one-motion jump shot, whereas that's a true two-motion jump shot. We had a little bit of an incident underneath the basket.
Oh. Yeah, a little hip clip on the side of the face.
Well, they need to do something to slow him down, JP.
They do. So, exactly right. It's unorthodox. It's unusual, Ruck, but maybe it'll prove effective. And at the other end, Tassie need to try and slow down Isaiah Brockington, as you mentioned. His last 5 games, 20, 24, 15, 24, and 16 points. So, when they've needed him to step up, he's been able to do so.
And Andrew, as long as New Zealand can keep it close through the play of Brockington, through contributions from Ty Webster and Max Darling, like we've seen already in this game, they've still got the ace in the hole in Parker Jackson Cartwright, who has won them a few games this season late.
And across his career, he's a big-time player. He's got 8 points with Jackson Cartwright. 5 of those points coming on end-of-quarter shots as well.
He's making it an awful habit out of his PJC. Here's Brockington again. Again, he elevates. This time, he can't knock it down, but Jackson Cartwright gets after it, and he makes good of the second chance. New Zealand keep that margin at 6.
If you want your coach to be irate, let that happen a couple more times.
What it was is 3 guys boxed out, did exactly the right thing, but neither of them went and actually secured the ball.
Here's Johnson again. Good find to Bannon underneath. That one doesn't drop. He gets another look at it. He's fouled by Rob Lowe.
He's seen things that aren't there. Josh Bannon is missed a couple of bunnies around the bucket, and that time wide open. And that was just imagining there was someone coming rather than actually someone coming.
Of course, all roads lead to the Gold Coast, particularly for the New Zealand Breakers. They will be in the Ignite Cup final on Feb 22, Sunday afternoon. at the Gold Coast Convention and Exhibition Centre against the Adelaide 36ers. 400 grand on the line, 60% of that going direct to the players. You can scan the QR code on screen or get your tickets at Ticketek. That is going to be all kinds of fun, that Ignite Cup final.
Isn't it a minimum of 60? Because I think one of these clubs say, or one of the clubs mentioned that they'd give it all to
Adelaide.
Adelaide, was it?
Matt Weston, their GM, has come out, taking the bull by the horns and said, we'll give it all to the players.
Well, given they're 2 and 4 in their last 6, they may...
Drew, that wouldn't... Come on, man. Be nice. We're trying to promote optimism about the game, and you're going to try and chop them down? Can a team have a little bit of a bad run?
Of course they can. I still think that they are a genuine talent. I'll figure out a way to incorporate John Jenkins. They've got all the tools.
Great hustle from Campbell. Bannon working inside, kicks it out. Nick Marshall. Bannon rips it down, takes it back at Davison. Can't hit that time. Lowe comes up with the loose ball.
Drew, I don't know about leaving Nick Marshall as TJC fires from deep. Nick Marshall is a good three-point shooter.
Yes, this season.
You can't double down off of him. They got lucky there, New Zealand.
40% three-point shooter. Johnson to Ding. Cross court to Marshall. Thought about sizing up PJC. Bannon on the baseline, gets to his right hand this time. That one rolls home, and that'll look awfully good for Josh Bannon as it goes down.
Just plays bully ball, just attack the rim. Got to his spot, way too easy.
Here's a game-high 10-point lead for Tassie at 71-61. 3.5 left in the third ruck.
Big possession here.
New Zealand got to be careful about just trying to win it from the three-point line. Got to find the balance. Oh, PJC looks like he's done himself a mischief.
Bannon gets to his left hand this time. That's no good. Jackson Cartwright does look like he's in a bit of trouble, and that's the last thing that they need. Already no Menenga and no Baker. Brockington hits that one, and then he gave the little too small.
Now, you know I'm not a fan of the too small, Drew.
That's because you're small.
Well, in this case, that's true. But in this case, this was true also by Brockington, and very good awareness to realize his teammate was in strife.
Yeah.
And they get the timeout. 71-63, under 3 minutes remaining. Big watch here will be on Parker Jackson Cartwright at this timeout. And what his status is off the back of it, no doubt Kelsey Brown will have an update on that very, very shortly. Working feverishly courtside. 2:57 to play here in the third. Tassie 71, New Zealand 63. Let's have a listen to their Breakers coach, Petteri Koppinen.
Hey, next we can play up serious. We play up for Brook. Ty, you make the pass, you come here. See this corner. Sean, this corner. Max, good screen. They are switching. If they are switching. Brook, come this side. Use the screen. Pass here. Look, Max is rolling. Carlin on this side.
Let's go,
if nothing, we have boomerang to Brook. You pass to Brook and you go wide. Ready for against switch. Boomerang, look, triangle. Yeah, against switch.
71-63, Tassie on top. Petteri Koppinen talking it over with his team. At the other end of the floor, Scott Roth addressing his troops. Kelsey Brown, what was his message?
Well, he was happy with the aggression that they're showing on the offensive end, particularly Josh Bannon. He said, great job, Josh. He said, we're not backing down, though, here. We have a job to do.
Thanks, Kels. Jackson Cartwright heading to the bench, and see him sitting there next to Jack Andrew at the moment at the top of your screen. Marshall spinning his way on Davison, trying to float it home. Foul on the loose ball. Majuk Deng just get a little bit nervous every time he hits the floor at the moment, I'd imagine.
Well, this foul is going to send the JackJumpers to the line. Good matchup there.
Foul on Webster.
Yeah, you can see the left arm just holding Majuk Deng's left arm.
2 shots.
So Majuk Deng will head to the free throw line, an 85% free throw shooter on the season. He was 10 of 12 last time out against the Cairns Taipans in that big game on Friday night. 5 of 5 so far this evening. highly adept.
It is, and he is an excellent free throw shooter. And missed one down the stretch, though, Derek, that he'd love to have back.
Yeah, those take a while to wear off. The best remedy is to be able to get back out there on the court as quickly as possible and put in another big performance, and he's been outstanding in this one again.
Tassie up by 10. Back to that equal biggest lead of the game. Brockington's been controlling things for the Breakers. He's got 21 points on 8 of 12 shooting. David Johnson on the bench at the moment, 27 points. He is 8 of 12 as well. Ty Webster from outside can't hit. Darling pulls it down, tries to put it back in. Marshall battles for the loose ball. They scramble around for it. Campbell comes up with it. Deng inside. He rolls it home. Tassie out by 12. Majuk Deng's trying to fire the locals up here in Hobart.
Great kick-ahead pass by Campbell. Knew that Deng had the mismatch and an early transition opportunity. Deng complaining, thought he might have got pushed by Webster.
And you're right, Drew. Campbell with great vision up the court. Read the situation perfectly, and now Campbell has 8 assists. And as I mentioned earlier, Majuk Deng he's a professional scorer with the scorer's mindset.
Ty Webster saw the door open and he rushed straight through it to lay it home.
But they've been switching, they're running a lot of Spanish action in this middle third of the floor. And the last 2 possessions, they've done a really good job of just switching it. And that time, just a complete breakdown. No switch, and Webster just waltzes his way to the bucket and the N1.
And so much of the JackJumpers' defensive structure as Webster gets that one to trickle in. They're used to having Will Magnay back there, and sometimes your mental conditioning is such that you think you have that little margin for error to allow somebody to beat you, but that is not the case now without Magnay.
Such a big part of this Tassie identity. Marshall puts it on the floor. Gets inside, he gets that to go. Nick Marshall will step to the line and add the bonus after he hits the Sally with Anthony Drimmick.
Hits the what?
The Sally.
Celebration, Andrew.
Oh, gotcha.
And Marshall's been good in this one. I thought he was a little bit passive the other night up in Cairns, but he's had critical buckets in this one. Attacks the closeout perfectly. Understands Darling can't stay with him.
He's got good size, probably around 200 centimeters, I'd hazard a guess. But when he gets into the paint, uses his body well. And the reason he shoots so well from the three-point line, very rarely does he take a bad one from the three-point line.
He's going very well today, our man, Ruck. 198 for Nick Marshall. He is just absolutely shooting the lights out. He's Andrew Gaze this afternoon. Alongside Derek Rucker in commentary.
He's on back-to-back days of work, so he's really on top of his game.
Stoddart smokes the layup. Whew. Minute 10 left in this third term. Max Darling for 3, that'll do.
Huge swing, 5 points. Just gives the Breakers a little bit of a lease on life as we wind down this third period.
Campbell pulls up. He can't hit. Darling strong arms Deng for the rebounds. Parker Jackson can't ride up at the scorer's table. Breakers have not led in the ball game. Tassie have led by as many as 12. And that from Ty Webster continues this trend of the Breakers being able to claw it back at the end of every term.
Well, this has been a critical couple of possessions. Easy buckets missed, and they've got this back to very manageable figures.
Campbell trying to soak up some time here. Makes his move on Darling. Had it poked away, then he needed out of court. It's going to stay with Tassie.
This was very fortunate for the JackJumpers because usually in these instances that ball comes off of Campbell, but they got the little
No.
No, it went off the Darling's foot.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Clearly.
But it was just a little ricochet off the
ball
Campbell
around at the end there.
onto Darling. Ooh.
Second and a half here. They need to get it up. They had no awareness of the shot clock there.
Jeez.
Well, Dang was in prime position to catch and shoot it before he traveled, and it wasn't called.
Gee, that's a costly one. And now Parker Jackson Cartwright's back into the game. He hit almost a buzzer beater at quarter time, and he almost hit a buzzer beater at half time. I wonder where the ball's going.
Well, firstly, they need to get up the court and apply some pressure to it.
He can just walk into something here. Webster's going to get it to him. He'll let it roll out. The late clock maestro for the New Zealand Breakers. Campbell fouls him.
But even still, if you apply that pressure up the floor, that foul can be committed up the floor and increase the amount of distance you need to cover.
Well, at least even if he catches it, you're pressuring him, takes another 2, possibly 3 seconds to get it over the halfway, then you foul.
Can they get it back to him here? They do. Jackson Cartwright. He's going to have to go from deep. He can't hit that one. There's a little bit of afters between Sean Bairstow and Tiger Campbell as well. And this is poised on a knife's edge. Quarter to go. It is a 2-win game. So important to both of these teams. It's Tassie by 7 with a quarter to play.
The JackJumpers with a 7-point lead here at My State Bank Arena in the Hungry Jacks NBL. We've got Sunday afternoon hoops and 10 minutes to play. We are still in the fight for that 6th position. New Zealand needed to turn it around in this final quarter. I listened into Petteri Koppinen and he was all about the effort, the intensity. We've heard that from him. And just a little vision here, Parker Jackson Cartwright, we were concerned about him. I can clearly say it was just a knock to the nether regions, a little bit uncomfortable, guys.
Just a little bit, Kels. Thank you. The correct medical terminology there from our intrepid sideline reporter, Kelsey Brown. Peter St Andrew Gaze, Derek Rucker with you. Sunday hoops, a double-header, Cairns and Sydney. Still to come this afternoon. A big last quarter here. The winner of this game will finish the round in 6th spot. That all-important last play in position. Turnover on the opening possession for the JackJumpers. And Ty Webster's having a real impact in this second half.
He's been great. 15 points and his 14 minutes off the bench. And we don't see a lot of him and PJC on the court at the same time, but right now might be the perfect time for both those guys to excel.
Johnson for three. David Johnson's got it. Just the second 30-point game by a Jack Jumper this season. And he's doing it when they need it most.
Some of that is the Breakers' fault, Drew. They're opening the door for him. You can't rotate off of Johnson.
Yeah, make someone else your BQ when he's in this type of form. Lopez really has been non-existent in this one.
1 of 5 for Karim Lopez, just the 1 rebound after that sparkling performance back on Friday. David Johnson leads all scorers with 30. Marshall puts it on the floor, sizes up Rob Lowe, 7 on the shot clock, down to Bannon, guarded by Tarangi, backs his way in, left the pull up short. Parker Jackson Cartwright wants to speed up the floor and make it a quick game. Rob Lowe's got all the time in the world, and he's got the mental fortitude to make the most of the situation.
Well, you saw some signs of fatigue there from the Jack Jumpers in the backcourt. You had 3 guys trying to take a swipe at the ball rather than putting their head down and getting back in transition.
Uh-oh, another miscue.
Turnover from Campbell. They could be costly down the stretch. They've only had 5 turnovers in the game so far, the Jackies. New Zealand just 6. Webster makes his move again into the paint. Tried to float it home. Lowe puts it back in. Majuk Deng's down and sore. It's a 3-point game. Just over 2 minutes to play in this one.
In pain and still trying to get his point across that perhaps there was something not appropriate.
Well, I just think it was unfortunate. And Lowe sticks the hip out.
Well,
gets Majuk in a bad spot.
Let's have a look at the replay. He was, I don't know if did he stick the hip out there?
Not in a malicious way, but it's protruding outward in Deng's direction and catches him at the wrong place and wrong time. And Juk is not happy.
Lopez, Jackson, Cartwright, Tarangi, Lowe and Webster, the 5 to start this final term for the New Zealand Breakers. Kelsey Brown, what are you seeing?
Well, the imports from either team are leading their side in scoring. 30 points for Johnson, but Brockington, who's not out there at the moment, 21 points, 6 and 2. Interesting call to start this ball.
He's getting it done at the moment, this New Zealand lineup, though, especially defensively.
Well, you ride this out as long as you can, Drew. Get Brockington the requisite rest, and I'm looking at bringing him in at about the 6.5-minute mark. But right now, Tassie are killing themselves with the turnovers.
3 in the quarter already for Tassie. They enter the quarter with just 3. Jackson Cartwright inside is fouled. Tassie 12 and 17 on the season. They've got the percentage edge over the Breakers, who are 11 and 17.
I thought this was going to be 2 shots here, Andrew. Picks it up.
I'm not sure it was a foul. Was it a foul? They called it a foul.
Indeed they did.
Now, Jack Jumpers' problems at the other end, they've been the right idea. They're just trying to, the entry pass has been poor. There's another foul.
Lopez absorbing the contact that time.
It does look a little clunky sometimes when Lopez off the dribble gets into the paint.
Well, that's going to be the next level of development. When there's that point of contact, getting the body strength up so that he can just play through that without being thrown off of his line.
Of course, the NBL's proud to celebrate Pride Round returning this season, continuing commitment to inclusion and celebrating diversity. You can win one of 3 Pride Round jerseys. Enter for your chance. You can scan that QR code on screen. Get involved by nbl.com.au/pride-rounds. A chance to win one of those jerseys.
Wow, it's tight now, Drew. 1-point game. And the Jack Jumpers really haven't had a good possession in this quarter.
Under 7 to play. New Zealand have not led in the ball game. David Johnson misses and then fouled Karim Lopez. That is his 4th personal.
Whoa.
And the thing that the Jack Jumpers are doing, yes, they've had the turnovers, but I think the decisions about what actions and how they were trying to get the high-low action, even that drive there, they're good decisions. So the last thing you want to do is think, well, we've come up short, go completely away from it, because The actions have been fine. It's just the execution has been poor.
As you've led by as many as 12 on a couple of occasions in the ball game. And that was shoe on the other foot type stuff there from Rob Lowe.
From the moment he caught that, it had a sense of it wasn't going to go well for the Breakers. He was really trying to force that high-low action when the process was to go dribble handoff with Ty Webster on the wing closest to us here on screen.
Second personal for Parker Jackson Cartwright there. You can see Tassie have already committed 3 team fouls in this quarter. New Zealand, that's just their first. Henry Coughlin's got all 3 timeouts remaining here in this second half. 6.5 to play. Winner to take 6th spot at the end of this round. That last play in position. And just like last they met here, it's 1 point separating them. Lopez with a big defensive play on Marshall.
Good rebound also by Tarangi.
Jackson Cartwright for 3. Webster will chase it down.
They've got a pep in their step right now, the Breakers that Tasmania are not matching.
They have not led in the game until almost now. Jackson Cartwright, that was halfway down.
Hey, that was almost 8 seconds.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't know whether I like the officials yelling and giving advice to the players.
Campbell underneath, that one falls off.
That's a good point, Andrew, because you don't hear the referees saying to a defensive player guarding a dribbler how to defend. So why should you help the offensive player getting the ball up?
Yeah,
so even look at this now.
See if you can hear it. He was telling him, he's saying, get it over, and the advice was right, but I don't think it's the official's position to do that. They're not saying to the defense, keep pressure on him, keep him in the back court, and you'll get the turnover.
The official's not counting down the shot clock or something like that as well for the home team.
But a lot to it.
83-80. Chris Reed, who's our crew chief this afternoon, was vocalising things on that occasion. 5.5 to go. Jackson Cartwright trying to tie it up. He misses. Bannon with another rebound. That's a double-double for Josh Bannon with 12, 10 and 5.
Parker Jackson Cartwright's had a couple good looks at 3 balls. Hasn't been able to knock them down. He's 4 of 15 from the field.
Bannon for Johnson. Game high 30 so far. Campbell swings it to Marshall. Needs to fire. Does. Can't hit. Dang will pull it down and give the Jackies another look. Johnson pulls the trigger. Not that time. Lopez, Jackson, Cartwright, Brockington, Lowe and Webster here for the Breakers. Deng, Johnson, Marshall, Campbell, Bannon for Tassie. Brockington makes his move, explodes inside, ran into a wall. Terrific defensive possession from the JackJumpers. Bannon's on the move, hits PJC with the spin, and they toss it away again. 4th turnover of the quarter.
Gee. Good penetration, and Deng was going to be there. He just couldn't quite handle the ball, and to New Zealand's credit, well, they give up 53 points in the first half. And since half-time, a combination of some sloppy play by the Jackies and some much better defense has got this well and truly back in the contest. They've got a mismatch down low right now with Lowe.
Lopez tried to float it home from distance.
He was caught. I think he was actually thinking of passing it to Lowe, which he should have done.
Well, I thought he should have attacked the rim.
We had the high-low, and Lowe was wide open.
3-point game. Deng drops it inside. Terrific defensive play from Lopez. Swats it away from Bannon. Starts the break for Jackson Cartwright, who makes it a 1-point game.
Brilliant body control by Cartwright to PJC. He came in there and stopped, paused enough to get that shot off.
And Lopez not getting it done on the offensive end in this game, but continuing to play with a big defensive play. That's an offensive foul.
Oh, they've called a flop. Is that a technical foul flop? On the aiming replay, there we see the block that you were talking about by Lopez, and down this end, look at the body control. Stops, props. He knew if Marshall was there and knew not to go too deep.
This looked like an offensive foul.
It did. Yeah,
Anytime that right arm is extended, Drew, it's almost automatic.
Yeah, to me, that's a no call.
Right.
Because there was contact there, but there is no doubt that he did exaggerate the contact. To me, it's so hard on the officials, but this is potentially in this game a very harsh penalty when there was the extension of the arm.
And we usually see that call made when that arm is extended.
Third foul of Parker Jackson Cartwright. Take another look there. Seen a lot like that not get that treatment throughout the course of the season. 3.5 to play. What a moment that could be in this contest. The game that's been laced with high leverage situations. Ty Webster just about sprints up the tunnel.
But now on that play, when Johnson comes off that pin down and his defender is behind him, that's automatic curl action.
Well, he misjudged it. I think he didn't feel the defense and he came back in the deep.
Right.
Had it kept going, like you mentioned, had a play on the rim, just didn't feel or have an awareness to where the defense was.
Josh Bannon puts it on the floor, goes straight at low, got underneath. He got really good position. He made the most of it, and he's put Tasmania in a really good position. 86-82, Tangerine timeout. 3 minutes and 10 seconds remaining in a vital game in the race to the postseason. What an important contest this is. And it is finally poised with 3 and 10 remaining. JackJumpers holding the edge, but a narrow one.
And wasn't that a confidence play by Josh Bannon? Clearly at the start of this game, they've been instructed to go out low. But Bannon, when you're 3 of 13 prior to that, to have the confidence and self-belief and the belief of your teammates to continue to attack, full credit to him.
(86-82). He has just stuck with it today, Josh Bannon. 14, 10, and 5. 3:10 remaining. Tassie by 4 in a game that's never been a broader margin than 12. New Zealand has not led, and this is what it means on the Mitsubishi Motors live ladder, Derek Rucker. It would put Tassie 2 up in the win column. If New Zealand can flip this thing around, it will be the Breakers that occupy 6th.
It's huge, and right now we're seeing that battle of productivity versus efficiency. While Bannon has not been efficient in games like this, just give me aggregate numbers, and he's doing just that, Andrew, and coming up big midway through this fourth quarter.
And they work on the glass in particular by Bannon.
Ooh. No for low. Jackson Cartwright can't put it back in. What was the message from Pettery Coppin at the timeout? Kelsey Brown.
No surprises. There was plenty of urgency. He said we have to stay in it mentally every possession, but the big key was the offensive boards.
Getting plenty of second looks. Najuk Deng couldn't take advantage from the corner there. 2.5 to play. 86-82.
Could almost have been a dagger by Najuk Deng.
Jackson Cartwright's got 12, 7, and 4. Isaiah Brockington's led the way for the Breakers all afternoon. He pulls it back to a 1-point game.
He's been sugary sweet in this one. 24 points, 6 of 7 from deep, Drew.
And from a modest three-point shooting start to his NBL career, the last month and a bit, he has been lights out, scintillating from the three-point line.
He's had some big performances in that stretch. Deng can't hit. Under 2 minutes to play.
Crucial block out there by Lopez on Bannon.
Tassie have led pretty much from the jump. New Zealand has not headed them in the ball game. Jackson Cartwright getting inside, and he changes all of that with 1.5 minutes left.
Ignore all previous stats that Parker Jackson Cartwright has compiled in this game. All that matters is these final 90 seconds where he traditionally excels.
He sees that clock winding down. He is so good. Johnson to Bannon. And they've got plenty of answers left, Tassie. And just remember, last time these two teams met, we did go to the extra period, and it was a 1-point result. What a finish we've got here on Sunday Hoops in Hobart. Joel Peterson, Derek Rucker, Andrew Gaze and Kelsey Brown with you. Parker Jackson Cartwright has it swatted by Majuk Deng. And Nick Marshall just wants to cool things down.
I hear what you're saying, Derek, but he needed to see the ball. Brockington needed to see it, given what we've seen in this game.
Johnson for three! Oh, it was around and out.
Well, PJC had created the advantage. He just didn't see the floor well enough to kick that ball out on the penetration.
Lopez puts it on the floor. He takes it all the way in. And Karim Lopez puts the Breakers back on top. Scott Roth calls for time. Half a minute left. And New Zealand now on the live ladder. They occupy sixth.
Mentally tough. Fakes the handoff to PJC, realizing his defender is probably going to hedge, and then goes ahead with the long arms and big hands, and finishes off the glass, Andrew.
Might have caught a little break. There was a hint of a hook with the right hand.
Really?
Yeah, if we get to see it again, and it's one that could go either way. He just created a little bit of a hook. Have a look at the right arm here.
I'm looking.
There. Now, I've seen those called previously.
So where I'm going to disagree slightly is I didn't believe he used the lever to create an advantage for himself.
I tend to agree. I'm just talking about what officials will sometimes see and call.
And there's our Mitsubishi Motors live ladder. And what difference about a minute and a half makes. We showed you that only moments ago, and it was Tassie at 13 and 17. And as that scoreboard has changed and New Zealand hit the front, they jump up into that final play-in spot.
Well, now with 30.9 on the clock, Drew, what's the strategy here from the Tasmania perspective? Do you go for just the best one?
Yeah, well, they've worked well with Johnson, and the slip action from Bannon has been strong for them. They bite on Johnson with a Bannon screen.
Of course, Tassie went to overtime on Friday night. New Zealand got it done by 2. They're in another close one here. Campbell puts it on the floor, down by 1. It's been Johnson's afternoon, and it's David Johnson's moment.
What are they thinking, Joel? He's been lights out, as you mentioned.
33 points.
And they leave him virtually, for him, in the context of this game, wide open.
Well, great action there by Tasmania to set up that penetration. Kick out. Johnson, and look at him line this one up. What an angle. Splash. DJ from deep. 33 big ones.
See, did Lopez have to help? If he had to help, he can't be expected to help there and then recover to his own man. There needed to be the rotation on Johnson. More team awareness of who's hot and who's the likely guy that's going to beat you, and it was not there.
91-89, under 14 seconds to play. And now the Breakers have to once more find an answer.
Now I flip the question, Andrew. The Breakers need a bucket. PJC has been solid. Lopez has made a big bucket.
Well,
and of course, Brockington has been in sizzling form in this second half.
Well, I think it comes down to what are your priorities going to be? Is your priority going to be, we're on the road, let's go for the 3-ball and get the win? Or is your priority, let's just try and get this thing into overtime because we have dominated this last quarter?
This man, 7 of 11 from downtown. He's just the 6th time any Tasmanian jack jumper has had 7 or more 3-pointers. He joins Doyle, Adams, Hamilton, Josh Majette and Sean McDonald in exalted company. And it is a 2-point game, under 10 to play. Brockington or Jackson Cartwright here for New Zealand. The time's winding down. It's time for Parker Jackson Cartwright. It does not go. And Tasmania withstand a classic Breakers challenge. They will end the round in 6th spot. They continue to cling on to that final play-in position. And the task from here gets that much tougher for New Zealand.
Huge win for the JackJumpers. Heart palpitations type stuff. They hang on with a solid defensive possession. They never allow the breakers and Parker Jackson Cartwright to get a good scoring opportunity. And look at Scott Roth. He's in full postseason celebratory mode.
It's a man who knows what that means.
Well, I think it's the adversity they've had to deal with, and fully aware after a loss on the road, which they're expected to win, to come back home. And now it's going to be, like you mentioned, very tough for the New Zealand Breakers with their schedule. And I think he realises that just one more win and they're in. And it's going to be hard to get that win.
But again, Andrew, we pointed out their system, their structure is worth X amount of points per game. And that man right there, the way he coaches that team, the confidence that he puts in that unit, irrespective of who's available for that game, that's why he's one of the top coaches in the NBL.
It's a bit of Pete Webber about that celebration, a bit of whatever you think you are, I am, from Scott Roth with the way he's pumping the fists there. 91-89 at the end of that. The JackJumpers still have Brisbane, Southeast Melbourne and Illawarra. For the Breakers, it is Southeast Melbourne, the Hawks, Adelaide, and they finish with Cairns.
Yeah, New Zealand will go back and they'll look at those last couple of plays. Brockington not involved enough for me. And yeah, you might want to look at the three. Clearly they wanted to go for the three. But to me, with PJC in that situation, perhaps getting to the rim might have been a better alternative. But we're all genius in hindsight.
Indeed we are. The Jackies are on the march toward the postseason. Let's get to Kelsey Brown with our Foot Locker player of the game.
He wants to get this interview done quickly. He doesn't want to do the towels. David Johnson, 6th place was on the line tonight. You guys have a foot in there. How important was that win?
Very important. We've been kind of in this position for the last couple of weeks, and we knew what needed to take, what we needed to come across the line, and my shot just happened to fall tonight.
For you, 33 points. Did you feel like the pressure was on you tonight with Hamilton out, with Mags out? Did you feel like the pressure was on you to really produce?
No, never. There's never any pressure. This is what, I mean, our team is built for. Any given day, it could be anybody's night. It just happened to be my night tonight.
Lastly, I want to ask about Scott Roth. He just walked around the court. He was up and about. He's got so much emotion. How does it feel to have a coach like that who's living and breathing every single win?
I mean, he's passionate. This is, I mean, everything that he built. He built this culture for moments like this when we're down a bunch of players, and everybody knows that there's an opportunity on the floor for us to step up.
Thanks so much for your time. Can I wear the glasses?
33 points, very cool. Kelsey Brown, a very cool performance from David Johnson as well. A season high for him, and the JackJumpers move to 13-17. They will end the round in 6th. It was such an important performance from them this afternoon. 91-89 the final score. We will break it all down on the other side of this.
Chance to meet the whole team and get those signatures too. Now the player signings will take place 30 minutes after the game on the court. Now all members will need to exit the arena first and make their way to door 3C. That's door 3C where they can line up for entry. Now make sure you get there nice and early to ensure you don't miss out. The event will run for about 30 minutes or up to Rocky's discretion.
This program is brought to you by Hungry Jack's and Bunnings Warehouse.
A Sunday special in the Hungry Jacks NBL, a game that meant so much for both Tasmania and New Zealand, and they played like it. David Johnson, the hero, the late three, gives Tassie a 2-point win. Scott Roth absolutely ecstatic with that, and it means that the JackJumpers will end the round in 6th spot. Andrew Gaze and Derek Rucker, such an important result. There's the tale of the tape.
A well-played game, and I thought that second half was just scintillating. The JackJumpers shot the ball really well from deep. In fact, both teams did, but just the fact that Tasmania were able to generate free throw line pressure, knocking down 24, that was the difference in the ball game.
And they handled the pressure really well because they gave up a reasonable three-quarter time lead. The momentum was against them, but they found a way to get it done. And, of course, David Johnson was pivotal to getting that win.
Absolutely immense. 7 of 11 from outside, 33 points, the second highest scoring performance by any JackJumper this season. And he joined some pretty handy company with 7 3-pointers as a JackJumper as well. And really from the minute go, Ruck, he looked on.
And he's an outstanding player, make no mistake about it. He can do it inside, outside. He's a great athlete. He's got a beautiful jump shot. And Andrew, I just want to say this also. There have been some murmurs that this team, if they finish 6th, they'll be an easy beat in that first elimination final. I got news for you. Scott Roth will not allow that to happen.
No, that's for sure. And he always finds a way to come up with a strategy to keep them competitive. And the New Zealand Breakers will look at their defensive tape and some of the ways they guarded him, that when the game was on the line, they weren't able to find the defensive formula. And look at the ladder now. I don't think that Breakers are going to be able to get there given their schedule, but the way this season has been, the topsy-turvy nature of it,
fair,
anything is possible, but they got some heavy lifting from here on out.
Well, we put that live ladder up with 30 seconds to go in the game, and it was the other way around. The Breakers were up in 6, so it just shows how fine the margins are in this season.
It certainly is, and there's so many intriguing battles as we try and form this final playoff schedule, JP.
Absolutely. A team that's right in the thick of it is the Sydney Kings. They are coming up next. Can they slow down Jack McVeigh and the Cairns Taipans? Second leg of a Sunday Hoops doubleheader is coming right up.
To celebrate 30 years with the Reef Hotel Casino.